Hey, what's up, YouTube boys and girls? Restavara here, Radical Custom Garage. I'm going to do a little thing different today. Rather than show you a bunch of new tools and things, I don't know if y'all like to go to flea markets and things, but we have several local flea markets and there's a particular one here in Arkansas up in Rogers that I enjoy going to. It's a very big one. There's a couple tool um, booths there, and I get a lot of used tools. The older gentleman I know buys used tools, cleans them up, and then resells them. For those of you that are starting out in the field or are DIY guys and that, and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, this is the way I think you should go. It's just my opinion. You can get a lot of nice tools. I spent about $140. They took all the tags off of them, so I can't tell you some of the prices. I do know some of the prices that I paid. The first one I'm going to show you is a slide hammer, and I paid the most for it, which was like $45. It's a bearing puller slide hammer. I use it. We had a gentleman at work that had one, and I know they're around 50 to 60 some dollars. This come with a couple extra items, but for the money, I think for 45 bucks, what I give for it, it's going to do me just fine for pulling bearings and things like that at work. That's what I mainly bought it for, because a lot of times during the week or weekends when we work, we're doing a lot of bearings and things, and this just will help the process a little bit faster. Enough of me rambling. Here it is, and it comes with the some of the other hardware. And I noticed this one isn't, I don't believe, the better one. I'm sure you can get this at Harbor Freight or something, because I know this is a Taiwan one. It says Taiwan on it. But this will work for what I want. And like I said, I may have give a little bit more than I should have. I know you can get these $50 to $60. This particular one I paid, I believe it was right at 40 or 45. I really don't remember. They took the tag off of it. But that's one of the items. And we'll just go through these a little at a time. And you guys know I like to do auto body and things like that. And I've bought body hammers from this particular gentleman a couple times, and I don't know what I give for it, but I'd found a decent body hammer. It's a PT. This does have a part number, W1010. I don't know if you could see. Find the number. Right there's the number. If I can get it over there. Focus for us. But it's always good to have a lot of different style body hammers. I'm sure that's newer style. I think I give $3-4 for it. I seen it sitting there, so I couldn't pass it up. The next couple items, the channel locks, I believe it was like $8. I don't remember. They're the medium-sized channel lock brand, but they work really well. And I've got so many different channel locks here and at work. I like the channel lock brand, and you can never have too many channel locks. Easy out. I think $2, if I remember. I don't some of it I don't remember on. Here's a husky thin ratchet, and y'all know how I'm a ratchet whore. I didn't give a whole awful lot for this one either. And the next one was a Craftsman ratchet. And I think you can get these rebuild kits for these cheap. This one sounds like it just needs to be taken apart and cleaned. And then you got your old Craftsman extension. I've got quite a few of these extensions, but they're nice. When you need an extension, you can add to the others and you can have a really long extension. I've got this. It's a knockout. I'm not even sure what size it is, but yeah. And then I got me a bunch of these clamps. I think she's got them in this other bag, but I think I bought all they had. There was 3 or 4 of these little mini clamps. And they're cheapy, but they work for small stuff when I glue, door panels and things like that. And I've needed some smaller stuff, so there's that. And then there's a couple other different clamps here. And that's what I'm saying, guys. You don't have to go out and spend a whole lot. To me, I don't think $100 was, $140 was bad. The main thing, basically, it was $100 for the tools, or maybe a little less than that. But I bought that big item I showed you first, and then the rest of the stuff. And I just kind of enjoy looking through stuff and that. We have one of these at work. There's been a time or two here at home that I've needed. I just knocked a bunch of them out of there, but the only one was this one up here was missing. And the rest of them are fairly full for these O-rings. And what I like on the back here, it shows you a chart. Get it up here where y'all can see it. And, a lot of times I need O-rings here in the shop. Let me pick these up before I lose them. But, I think I give $10 for this particular item. It was one of them things that, did I really need it? Probably not. But like I said, there's been a time or two I've had to wait and go to work and get me an O-ring or whatever, and why not have it here at the house? Try not to make a mess here. And there's another one of them bills. I have a couple more of them. Like I said, I bought every one of them they had, just because I know in the past that when you need them, you gotta try to go find them or whatever. And I've got a toolbox and nothing but clamps and things. I bought this also. You can never have too many handles. I don't remember what I gave. It wasn't a whole lot for it, but it was brand new, still in the package. And let's think the last couple items here are these little clamps. These C-clamps are a 2-inch C-clamp. And like I said, these are, probably El Cheapo ones, China, whatever, but no more than I'll use them. And I know you can get these at Harbor Freight. I kind of watch, and I think he had $1.50 for 2 of these. So I was like, man, I can't pass that up. For what all I got, for $140, I think I done decent. And that's all I'm trying to tell you guys is, you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money and buy new stuff. A lot of you out there think that, some of the older guys, it's taken us a long time to buy some of the tools and things we have, but we also watch deals. I go to flea markets, I go to swap meets. You can buy this stuff fairly reasonable, and if you want to make some money on the side and to get a little bit better tools, you can take your ratchets, take your clamps and that, put a deal on eBay or create your own page and sell some of this stuff. That's how you can get better tools than that. Or if you want to fill your art, I know guys that do that are fresh out of school, that's going to flea markets and things, buying the tools and that, taking them to work and using them, and they don't have a problem with using the used stuff, and they haven't spent a whole lot of money. And the same way with a box. You could find a halfway decent box that somebody's lost the depreciation on it on Craigslist, on Facebook Marketplace, has tons of boxes and side lockers and things. And sometimes, it may not match, but hey, you don't have to have, a whole lot of money, as long as it holds your tools and as long as you're able to do your job, that's the main thing. Enough rambling. I'm going to pan across these. I've got a couple other items I'm going to show you from Harbor Freight that I'd got. I'm in their club, and I've got both of them. I think I got 50% off or 40% off, whatever it is, but we'll go into that here in a minute. Let me pull you off the tripod and turn you around. Here's some of the stuff. There's the stuff that I'd got. I don't think I did that bad for $140, for the stuff that I got. Some of it you got to watch, that, you think, oh, well, he paid too much for that, or, whatever. Like I said, this back here is the most I've paid for it. Yeah, it was made in Taiwan, but I've been looking for one for a while. I think Harbor Freight has them, but they're a little bit more money and a little bit pricier. And for what I'm going to use it for, I'm not going to get hurt by it. The clamps and things, it is what it is. This will help out in my arsenal because it's the next size up. I've got the smaller sets of these, and that's just one more that I have. And he had a bunch of these there that was all the same. I don't know. I guess he bought somebody out. But, with the channel locks and this, I really feel I done good. It's just one of them things, guys. Me and my wife enjoy going to flea markets and things, and that particular one, I try to go there once a month or so, and it's an older gentleman, and I try to help him out too, because I know last time I talked to him, he told me he was on a fixed income, and this is what he did to subsidize his stuff. And why not help somebody out that needs it? and that could probably use the money. And he said he enjoys doing it. It keeps him young, and I'm going to do what I can to help him out. And he helps me out by getting some of the tools I want. And later on down the road, who knows, somebody else will get good use out of it. I'm just the caretaker of it. That's the whole thing. Nothing lasts forever. So, all right, next item. I don't know if y'all do any metal cutting or whatever. I've ruined 2 of these air saws over the years. I think my last one, I had it about 8 or 10 years. This one they had on sale, being I'm on the Inside Track Club. I got the 40 or 50%, so I think I paid $9 or something, $10 for it. I don't remember. They did just discontinued them. I guess they're going to a different style or something. But this is a good brand, air file. It comes with the little Allen wrench. I guess 2 Allen wrenches, and that. You got to buy the air chuck for it. It don't come with an air chuck for the end. Let's pull it out of here real quick. Guess we're not in no hurry. But I know I use the fire out of my other one on auto body. This is adjustable here. You can run it in and out. You got both your tools, one for the side here, and then the smaller one is for this to raise and lower it. I have not had any trouble hardly with the this brand. I've got a couple other items that are that brand, and as long as you keep them oiled and that, you'll be fine. It's just one of them things that I think it goes with any tool, whether it's cheap or not, as long as you maintain it, keep it, and that. And I'm not saying all of it's good. Every now and then we all get that junky tool. I've had some brands that are, what do I want to say, name brand stuff, and I've had to take them back because they were junk. That's just the name of the game there. Straighten y'all up here a little bit. The next one is a right angle sander. I think it's 3 inches in diameter, disc pad. I've been wanting this one for a while. I procrastinated on it because I was waiting to see. I had one similar to this, and years ago I'd put a not the sticky pad, but the I think they call them tongue and groove or the J, whatever they were. It's almost like Velcro. And I was looking for one of them, and I have not been able to find them. Well, let me rephrase that. I've been able to find them, but they're pricey. And for what I do in that, I'm hard on stuff, and I don't want to spend $200, and set it on top of my rat rod, and it's fall off and hit the floor, and that's it. It's toast. Or, you ruin it somehow. A lot of times I have a bad habit of just sitting there running them, and I forget to oil them or whatever, and there's been a couple of them that I've never oiled. I'm one of the world's worst to tell you, yeah, they'll last longer and that, and oil them, but then I don't follow my what I preach, practice what I preach, I guess. But this particular one it comes with the rubber pad, and you can get these, I've noticed. And this one, like I said, I've been wanting it for quite a while because it's small enough that it fits in your hand. And most of these, if you'll notice, a lot of them, this part is always over here. And that's what I liked about this particular one, because you could take your thumb and, you know, the little safety thing. And most all of mine, if you look at all of mine that have the handle in the front here, this is the first thing that goes. I'll drill that roll pin out, or I'll knock it out if it'll knock out, and I get rid of it. So basically that voids the warranty. But what I liked about this one, it's so small and compact. And I have learned, and I'll let you guys know, the last couple of these I've had to, and I don't know if it's because I'm not getting them tight or whatever, but I put a little bit of the blue Loctite on this part going up on there. Yeah, it takes a lot to get it off sometimes. But you don't want this thing to fly off as a projectile. I've had them hit me in the head and what have you, and it's just, I don't know if I'm not getting it tight enough or whatever. But my last one, and it was quite a few RPM, but it was a lot bigger, and the pad part come flying off, and it like to tore my head off in the process. But enough about that. This particular one, how many horsepower we got here? It's a 3-inch disc. You got 15,000 RPM or 1,500 RPM. I don't have my glasses on here. 0.5 horsepower, maximum airflow, 90 psi. It's the MPT. It's a 1/4 inch. The weight of it is 1.6 pounds. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy that, you know, this isn't that heavy. And I've got discs and things that I've got for my regular die grinder that will fit right on this, which kind of makes me happy. I don't have to go out and buy any special disc. I can keep buying the discs that I've been buying and that. And what I do is Harbor Freight has these swivel air fittings that you could stick right in there, put your tape on it and go. It just makes it so much easier. Your hose don't get kinked up. It just, when you're working, and I think I'm really gonna like this because I can just one hand here, and I'm not gonna have to do any modifications with this. So I believe that's all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to share the tool haul on the flea markets. Like I said, don't be afraid to go to flea markets, pawn shops, places like that. And you don't have to, like I said, these ratchets I didn't pay that much for, you know. That I can throw in my truck or whatever. If I lose it, I'm not going to care because it was only $4 or $5, whatever, $8. You know, versus $200 ratchet or what have you. A lot of times, you know, you'll go to the salvage yard or whatever, and if you've got a pair of pliers or what have you with you, and you're traipsing around and you lose something, you're going to be upset about it. I'm upset either way, whether it's a small item or, you know, if I give $1 for it, you know, it's just one of them things. But I'm just trying to give some of the younger ones a little bit better idea what you can do to help fill your toolbox and you don't have to have, you know, a drawer full of new tools and things to impress. Some of my tools are not. I was going to show you a drawer here that 90% of stuff in this drawer, let me flip you around real quick. A lot of this stuff here is used. I haven't give a whole lot for it. You know, of course, all this stuff is newer stuff, but I think even some of these are used, or I bought them off of somebody. You know, if you see these here, you know, you can get them 50 cents or $1 a lot of times at a pawn shop or at a flea market, and you know, eventually you'll find something that fits my one of my die grinders. Actually, it fits 3 of my die grinders, and I was having a hard time, you know, when I first had got my die grinder. One of them didn't even come with one. I could have probably sent it back, but you know, this drawer is what I consider like a junk drawer. There's a lot of stuff in this drawer that I've bought over the years, and then there's some of it that I've got cheap. You know, I had a friend give me this. I don't know what he used it for. I know he did a lot of tarps and things where we work, and I kind of wonder if that's, you know, if he didn't put it on his belt, and but he's not around for me to ask. So all I'm saying, guys, is, you know, don't be afraid. Get you back on the tripod here. Don't be afraid to, you know, go to your flea markets, go watch sales like at Harbor Freight, and you know, you just don't have to spend a whole lot, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, you probably spent more fireworks this year than I did for the little stuff that I bought there. Most all of it I'm sure I'll use sometime or another. You know, it's a going joke with me and my wife that, you know, I have 2 and 3 of everything. Well, that's why, because if I see it, I buy it. You know, I know there's always a chance that I'll probably use it. But if I don't, you know, and somebody needs something, I can always sell it to them, and I have a pretty good idea what I give for it. So if I make a little extra, heck yeah. Just don't be afraid to go out there and look around and look for the deals. You know, I'm always a person to try to get a good deal. And, you know, that's really all I have for y'all. Hopefully you had a blessed 4th. And please like, share, comment. I know I keep saying this in all my videos, but if you're new to the channel, please go down there and hit the like button, subscribe. I'm still working on 1,000. I think I got 4 or 5 to go before I hit 1,000. It'd be nice to get sponsored or get some revenue. I pay for everything myself, you know, and it'd be nice to help keep this channel going. I think that's why I don't do so many videos, because I know it's going to cost for items and things to purchase to be able to come to you with a video. I think I need to start more on the Rat Rod project and show more of that, to where I've got a lot of the stuff that it's, you know, it's content, and I just need to go with that. You know, this is an all around, you know, it started out as a tool channel, but I think, you know, I want to progress with it and do other things. Enough said. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video. God bless, and have a blessed week. And yeah, that's all I have.